Hey everyone, I am in downtown Tupelo, Mississippi. Tupelo is the city where Elvis Presley was born, and I'm going to give you a quick tour showing you some of the top Elvis highlights in the city of Tupelo. In this video, we'll stroll Main Street of Tupelo, Mississippi, which is where Elvis Presley was born. We'll check out cafes and other restaurants, which all seem to have some kind of connection to the king himself. We'll do an extensive tour of Elvis's birthplace, check out Elvis statues and murals before heading to Tupelo Elvis Festival, which is Mississippi's largest Elvis tribute event of the year, which is full of 4 days of different performances by Elvis tribute artists. There are more than a dozen Elvis attractions in Tupelo. The top one has to be the birthplace of Elvis Presley in East Tupelo, Mississippi. So that little house right behind me was built by his father in 1934, the year before Elvis was born, during the Great Depression. The Presleys lived here for a few years until Vernon Presley, his father, was sent to jail for passing a bad check. Here's a statue of Elvis at 13. I believe he was about 5'3" back then. This is the Walk of Life, just like the Dire Straits song. It encircles the place of Elvis's birth, and there is one block for each year of the King's life.
Some of it, but I have to know experience.
Vernon borrowed $180 from his boss at the time to build this house, and he built it with the help of his dad and brother.
This wood-burning oven is original. These bricks were laid by Vernon Presley. Now, one of my questions was, is this wallpaper original? And I was told they most likely would have put newspaper up here. I'm learning a new term, shotgun house. So this is a 2-room house, and shotgun means you could poke a gun through one door and shoot a bullet out the other. This would be the back door. The Assembly God Church is where you could watch a 15-minute video of what church would have been like for Elvis.
Most everybody loved church, and church was kind of the bright spot in the lives of these people. You know, their lives were so hard. There was work, there was worry, there was sickness.
So now I'm in the chapel. You could have weddings here, they do services here, and I want to show you the most interesting thing that I found in here. So Colonel Tom Parker is a controversial figure even after the death of Elvis. So after years of this being scratched and kind of put stickers over it, whatever you want to call it, it's finally here to stay, but a lot of the Elvis fans that come here were not fans of Colonel Tom Parker. And this is a replica of the Presley family outhouse. Tupelo is less than 2 hours from Memphis, but people do make the journey from Memphis down here. Graceland Excursions is the bus right behind me, and they go to the hardware store where Elvis bought his first guitar, and they also come here to his birthplace. There is no entrance fee if you want to check out the gift shop, so you have some interesting stuff here encased behind glass. Like here's an example, Elvis record case, little mini Elvis pillow. And if you do want to take a souvenir home, there are Elvis gloves for the kitchen, Elvis barbecue sauce, Elvis recipes. Probably the most interesting thing that I've found here so far are the Elvis rubber ducks. And the men's room has an Elvis TV screen and a little note reminding you do not spit tobacco. Atop the hill near his birthplace, you could check out Becoming, not like the Pantera song, but instead Becoming Elvis. So this is a young 11-year-old Elvis with a guitar. Above him is huge, larger-than-life superstar Elvis with the jumpsuit that we all know. Elvis is everywhere in Tupelo. Even coffee shops like this one I'm at right now, which is called Strange Brew. Now this is named not after the Cream song, but after some of the different combinations here that you could order in your coffee drink. And of course, we got a few different Elvis pictures behind me. Leave a comment. I'll move my head over and tell me which is your favorite. And here we have a couple examples. So here is a fat Elvis brownie, and then you could also get a strawberry pink Cadillac cake. And here's an Elvis mugshot coffee mug. A young Elvis Presley attended Lawhorn Elementary School, so there's no R, but you are supposed to pronounce the R like Lawhorn from what I'm told. So he played some of his earliest shows, unpaid I suppose, but he played early shows here on the stage. In addition to the plaque, there's also a hound dog here, and if you turn the corner, you could see Lawhorn Elementary School, 1945. And the school mascot is a hound dog. And after elementary school, Elvis moved on to Milam Junior High School, which is right here. They moved to Memphis after this, so this was the last school he attended before heading north to Tennessee. I'm standing at the corner of Front and Main in Tupelo, and this is one of the 25 Elvis murals that are in downtown Tupelo. Now, from where I'm standing, right across the street, Elvis bought his first guitar and his first hunting rifle at Tupelo Hardware. So I believe that Tupelo Hardware is still in the same family. There's an Elvis cutout, and right here is a little plaque marking 1946, Elvis's mom bought him a guitar. And the hardware store is still kind of a tourist attraction. You could buy guitars here to this day. And there's the spot where Elvis stood. We have books, a couple Elvis posters, framed pictures, and an autographed guitar.
It's 4 stories, and back then it was the tallest building in Tupelo. Everything you see in here is original. The flooring's original, all the counters are original except the middle counters aren't. But everything around the walls are original, the shelving's original, the tin ceiling's still the original ceiling, the light fixtures are original, they've been rewired for fluorescent light. So January the 6th, 1946, Elvis and his mom came through that door. It was on a Saturday. His birthday was coming up on Monday. Prior to that, there had been a talent show contest at the Alabama-Mississippi Dairy Fair in October of 1945, right down the street down here. It's called Fair Park. And a teacher had heard him sing in school and convinced Gladys to enter him in the talent show contest. And so, reluctantly, she let him enter the talent show contest. And out of 9 people, he came in 5th. Now, everybody's heard of the top 4 winners. I'm sure you have. Y'all looking at me like I'm crazy. Well, nobody knows the members of the top 4. I've got photographs of the top 4. But the second place winner undoubtedly had the best country name for a country star I've ever heard. Her name was Nubbin Payne. And she came in 2nd. And what's really a little side story you probably never have heard, Elvis, for coming in 5th, he won a ticket on a ride. And Gladys told him, you can ride anything in here, but this one real dangerous ride. And it was like a roller coaster. Well, guess what the little devil did? He got on it, and Gladys wore him out when he got off the little roller coaster. So in January 6th, little Elvis came in here with his mama. So that's what you're going to see. He was waited on by Mr. Forrest Bobo. At that time, Mr. Bobo had been with the company 20 years. He was the first employee hired in 1926. This gentleman here is playing the role of Mr. Bobo. Mr. Bobo's wife and Gladys were kin to each other, so he knew the family very well. We have documented records of what happened that day, so we don't just throw X's on the floor to get people to get all excited. And I got to warn you, after this is over with, if you stand on the X and you get emotional and you fall over and hurt yourself, it's your fault. We take no responsibility. So now everybody's clear. You can stand on the X after the performance. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to our actors and let y'all enjoy what happened here on January 6, 1946.
Gladys, what brings y'all to town today?
Well, Mr. Bobo, it's somebody's birthday.
It's mine, Miss Bobo. It's mine.
Well, happy birthday, Elvis. So, what would y'all like to look at today?
I want the gun. That one.
Oh. Elvis, this is a real 22 rifle. Miss Gladys, do you mind if he holds it?
Is it safe?
Well, it doesn't have any bullets in it, so it's pretty safe. So here you go. Now, Elvis, what do you plan on doing with a rifle? You going to shoot a deer?
No, sir.
A rabbit?
No, sir.
Well, I don't know if it's going to do you much good if you're not going to shoot something. So, you know, Miss Gladys, I heard him sing at church last Sunday, and I said, that boy sure could use a guitar. So let me have that rifle back.
I like that idea.
And I just happen to have a guitar. So here you go. Hold it right there. Now, hold on a second. Go put your foot up there. All right, take your fingers and put them right here. All right, give it a strum.
That sounds so good, Elvis. Like Mississippi Slim.
Sure does. How about you sing us a song today?
Well, the only song I know is Old Chef.
We'll sing that one.
When I was a lad, and Old Chef was a pup, over hills and meadows we strayed. Just a boy and his dog, we were both full of fun. We grew up together that way. I remember the time at the old swimming hole where I would have drowned beyond doubt. But Old Chef was right there to the rescue he came. He jumped in and helped pull me out. Old Chef, he has gone where the good doggies go, and no more with Old Chef shall I roam. But if dogs have a heaven, there's one thing I know. Old Chef has a wonderful home.
Elvis, that was so good, baby.
That was really good, Elvis. So what's it going to be, the guitar or the rifle?
If I get the guitar, can we get ice cream too?
If you get the guitar, then we'll go to a picture show and get ice cream.
Thanks, Mama.
All right.
That's
baby.
going to be $7.48.
There you go. Thank you so much.
All
Just
right.
hold on to the rest of it. I gotta come back for some
I
stuff
sure
later.
will. Well, happy birthday, Elvis. Have a good day.
This is another Elvis mural, and there's also the guitar trail on Main Street, so you can see all of these different guitars. There's pretty much one on every block on both sides. I like this Coca-Cola one, but it needs to be redone. But I think my favorite mural in downtown Tupelo is not an Elvis. It's this one right behind me. When you're in Tupelo, even if you're looking to go to a healthy smoothie bar for breakfast, you can't escape Elvis. There is a Elvis bowl right here. So instead of the traditional acai bowl that you might find, here they have an Elvis bowl with a banana base topped with chocolate chips. There's some honey in here, and I believe there's also peanut butter as well. So Elvis was a big fan of peanut butter and banana. LA Green is one of the stores downtown where you can get some Elvis shirts, definitely with a Southern twist. You have Elvis Y'all, Elvis Rock and Roll, and then right over here, you have these Elvis, I don't know if you would call these bag straps, purse straps, something like that. Johnny's Drive-In in East Tupelo was Elvis's favorite food spot in town. Now they're known for a dough burger, which I'm not really familiar with, but Elvis preferred a cheeseburger and RC Cola. And you can see the cheeseburger is the second one on the right. And there's no statue here, but there is an Elvis plaque. Now Tupelo is a smaller city, so you will see a lot of businesses closed on Sunday. You could see Gone to Church. Church was a big part of Elvis's childhood, But if you do make it into Johnny's, you have outdoor seating, but inside, just like at Arcade in Memphis, there's an Elvis booth. Tupelo is in Lee County, and this was the library that Elvis would have read at. I've watched some Elvis documentaries, Memphis Mafia documentaries, and I've always heard that Elvis was an avid reader, and I suppose that interest could have started right here at the Lee County Library. The Lyric Theater is across the street from the Lee County Courthouse, so this is where Elvis used to come and watch Westerns, and he also allegedly had his first kiss in a balcony seat at the Lyric. And this building dates back to 1912, making it 112 years old. And it's really one of the popular celebrated locations in the downtown area. So Elvis left town when he was about 13, and after he got famous, he came back, played a couple homecoming shows here, and this statue in Fair Park is dedicated to Elvis Presley, Tupelo's most famous son. Elvis played here 3 years in a row, and you could still catch events here, like there's a Corvette show, and then on Fridays there's Food Truck Friday, where you'll see food trucks lined up around the exterior of the park. All of the Elvis attractions in Tupelo are either downtown or in East Tupelo. The Visitor Center is now called the downtown area, but back when Elvis lived here, this was the Shake Rag District, and somewhere where Elvis would have heard gospel music. He would have also heard different rhythm and blues that would have kind of made him the artist he eventually became. And here's a plaque with some information on the Shake Rag community from the 1940s. And this is also in front of the Cadence Bank Arena, where Elvis Fest is held every year. I'm staying at the Hotel Tupelo, which is conveniently located downtown. I mention this because there are bikes here that guests can use. Now, at mytupelo.net, which will be in the show description, you can see the different routes. There's an Elvis walking route, there's an Elvis bike tour, there's also an Elvis driving tour. Basically, whatever your means of transportation, there's some kind of Elvis tour you could do. Room 401 is the Elvis Suite. And whoever is on the other side of the 4 windows to the left of the T in Tupelo has the privilege of staying in the Elvis Suite. I am standing outside the Cadence Bank Arena in Elvis Presley's hometown of Tupelo, Mississippi. I am here for the 4-day Elvis Festival. It's the first one I've ever attended, and I'm looking forward to 4 days of Elvis music, Elvis merchandise, Elvis reenactments, and Elvis tribute artists. Elvis Fest started in his hometown of Tupelo in 1998, coincidentally the same year that I graduated high school. So it's a 4-day festival, big deal at the local arena, and you have all kinds of people selling Elvis merchandise all over the lobby area.
You've never seen no scuba dive place like they got 'em in New Orleans, New Orleans.
So you have what looks like either reusable grocery bags, cooler bags, or both. You have some nice Elvis t-shirts. You could get Elvis CDs. I don't think Elvis lived long enough to see those. You could get all kinds of other things like posters, movie posters, past Elvis Fest merchandise, and then it looks like you could even get an Elvis Presley flask. I don't know if that's a record or not, but they have mics on them. And this might be the largest selection of Elvis shirts outside of Graceland that I've ever seen. They're all different.
What can I give when I give all of someone new?
We got sunglasses, coffee cups, and these little action figures.
To miss you so when I know you don't love me.
I've never seen Elvis wearing one of his own t-shirts, but these jumpsuits, which I believe started later in his career, are for sale. And if you want to see what they look like on an actual model, swing right by here, and they're even measuring someone right now. And what would any Elvis Fest be without an official merchandise booth? I think I'm going to take a men's large. Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome.
That is cool.
These were the
From his grave?
yeah.
Wow.
And my
Wow.
wife got those.
Sally Hoedel is the author of 2 Elvis books, and she travels to Elvis festivals, including the one we're at right now, which is in Tupelo. Hi, Sally.
Hey, how are you?
So how do you find Elvis Festival down in Tupelo?
I love the Tupelo Elvis Festival. I love Tupelo. You know, Elvis was born here, and so much of who he was is because of the time that he spent here. He was here for the first 13 years of his life. So, and then to sign books here at the Tupelo Hardware store, which is such a historic location. It's really important to me because I am a journalist, but I'm an Elvis fan first. So it's incredible to be here.
Okay, so if somebody is just learning about your work,
Yes.
would you recommend starting with Destined to Die Young or Destined to Fly?
Well, 2 very different books, but Destined to Die Young was my first book, and it is all about Elvis's health struggles, which have largely been unknown. His maternal grandparents were first cousins, so that doubling of the gene pool creates a lot of issues for his mother, 3 of his uncles, and that trickles down to Elvis. So by the time he passes, he has disease in 9 of the 11 systems of the body. So he absolutely had a problem with prescription medication, but there is an element of self-medicating that was happening there. So it explains how he was committed to being a provider for his family, and up to 100 people by the time he died. And he was sick and he couldn't stop, so he found a way to continue being Elvis Presley. Destined to Fly, the story of Ron Strauss from Iowa to Elvis, was my second book, and Ron flew Elvis on the Lisa Marie from 1975 to 1977, but a remarkable life story of hijacking. It's just like a slice of Americana, and then he gets to fly Elvis Presley too. So.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog.
So Sally, I'm a music history fan first and foremost, so I find this interesting even though I don't know a lot of Elvis songs outside of the #1 hits. How could somebody find you if they want to learn more about your work and like what you just told me about Elvis, which I had no idea about his health issues?
Sure, I'm on Facebook, of course, and Instagram and all of that, but elvisauthor.com is a great place for more information. It really talks about the research, especially that went into the first one. And then I'm on Amazon as well, but if you order books from the website, then they'll be signed. So.
Okay, that sounds great, and that will be in the show description. Thank you very much, Sally.
Thank you.
I'm taking a break from all the Elvis sightseeing and trying Tupelo's only standalone Italian restaurant. So I am at Nautical Whimsy, and this is Italian food with very large portions and also a little bit of a southern twist. So I'm having a special, which is the 12-ounce filet mignon with a cheese-baked potato, Alfredo sauce, and there's also crawfish down in there somewhere. Another little observation was they serve fried mozzarella as an appetizer and with ranch dressing, which I've never heard of before. And one other thing, I'm in town for Elvis Fest, so they have 3 Elvis drinks. 2 of them are lemon suede shoes, and the other one is Hound Dog, which is an easy one to remember. So these are the little crawfish. I've never had crawfish in Alfredo sauce before. And back home, this would be a family-style entree at a place like Don Pepe or Tony's di Napoli, but here this is just a regular $12 plate of gnocchi. There's a Runnin' with the King 5K that coincides with Elvis Fest every year. So I'm going to be doing this. It's going to be my first ever 5K. I even got my number right here. It goes through Tupelo. We're in East Tupelo right now. It is going to pass the Elvis birthplace as well.
The bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night.
With the king of rock and roll, but Lord, thank you most of all for the great privilege and and honor it is to run this life with the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, our Savior Jesus. In his name, amen.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So that's it, my first 5K running with the King. I finished in 15th, not bad. Let's see here. Actually, no, I missed the 2. That says 215th. So I think I got to train. I got to get my cardio up for my next 5K, then maybe move on to a 10K.
Then she starts thinking that maybe she's put you in a bind.
Elvis's most successful records were his gospel records. So Sunday at Elvis Festival is dedicated to gospel music.
Jesus will help you in all his name you call. You heard me praying.
Danny Smith is the son of Billy Smith, who is the last surviving member of the Memphis Mafia. Danny runs a YouTube channel and is here for Elvis Fest with some of the merchandise for sale. How you doing?
Doing good. How you doing, sir?
So you run a YouTube channel.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you lived on the grounds of Graceland up until Elvis's death, correct?
We did. We actually moved up. Of course, we traveled and lived with Elvis in California from the time I was born. But he bought us a double wide trailer, and we lived on the grounds of Graceland. We moved up there in '74, and was there till '77 and passed away.
Okay, so your channel is Memphis Mafia Kid. You have a book here. You have T-shirts. You can see right there, subscribe. And then we even have, I believe these are discontinued grunge shirts. There's one Elvis mural in Tupelo that only the VIP get to see. So I am backstage at the Cadence Bank Arena, and this is one of my favorites. All right, I'm backstage, and I have the chance to interview a real, not an Elvis impersonator, that's not the most flattering term, but an ETA, which stands for?
Elvis Tribute Artist, not estimated time of arrival.
Okay, perfect. So your name is Cody. You are one of the people performing here today. I could see the way you strategically let them grow in. I could see your nice jet black hair.
Just got it dyed.
You just got it dyed.
Just got it dyed.
I wasn't going to ask that, but I'm glad you said that. Okay, so I am fascinated by this. I've never been to Tupelo before. First time attending an Elvis festival. How did you get it? How does one become an ETA?
Well, first off, welcome to Tupelo, brother, and welcome home. First off, because you never not feel like you're home here. I turn the GPS off when I go into the city limits. But I first got started becoming an ETA when I was only 2 years old. Very, very little baby. My grandmother turned on a movie called Follow That Dream on what I called the big box. It was a box TV. The buttons were broken on it, and it was actually filmed about 30 minutes away from my hometown. And I saw Elvis, and I was just like, I was absolutely mesmerized by him. And I was like, oh my gosh, who is this guy? He has $1 million smile. He's singing. It's the epitome of Elvis meets the Beverly Hillbillies in this Elvis movie, and he always gets the girl. And then I saw him in the white Aloha jumpsuit with the eagle on it, and he had a cape, and I was like, Grandma, that is my superhero. And she was like, yeah, he has a cape. You're superhero. And I got professionally trained when I was 4 years old. It was never like a show moms type thing. My family was always very supportive on what I wanted to do, whether I wanted to be a wrestler, I wanted to be Batman or whatever. But other kids were wanting to be, the superheroes, and what I wanted to be Elvis. So they were always very supportive. And I mean, it just gradually built from there. Yeah.
Well, if you chose wrestler, I suppose you could have played the Honky Tonk Man's son on
The
WWE.
Honky Tonk Man's son. I was a really big fan of Rey Mysterio because I'm a little short, so I was like luchador style. So I was a big fan of the luchador style.
Okay, so what is your hometown?
My hometown is Ocala, Florida. That's centrally located in Florida, literally the center of the state. We are 4 hours up and 4 hours down. So born and raised there.
Okay, that's the equestrian capital of Florida.
Yes, it is. We just got the World Equestrian Center there. Classic Miles there. All the Kentucky Derby horses go down there to train for that big race up in Kentucky. Yes, absolutely.
All right, my big question might be an odd one, but I would love to know, number one, how much does a typical Elvis jumpsuit cost if there's a typical one, and how many do you have?
Man. Well, I'm taking out the fourth mortgage on my home to make next year's purchase. No, I'm just kidding. You know, how does one obtain an Elvis jumpsuit? Well, I can tell you this: you don't buy it from Walmart, and you don't buy it from Party City. All right, so that's rule number one. You want to go to a company called B&K Enterprises out of Indiana. They have some of the original team that actually worked on Elvis's costumes back in the day. And they have access to the original designs and stuff like that. And they've improved those designs as the years have gone on. But I have about 45 different jumpsuits in my closets. And yes, closets is plural because I have about 5 of them that I've taken up. If you don't count if you count just the jumpsuits and you're counting just those. If you're counting everything, I probably have over 100 outfits, much like everybody in this industry probably does. So on average, jumpsuits can cost anywhere as low as $1,500 and as high as $6,500. So again, fourth mortgage on the house, it's needed.
That's New York City rent.
Yes, that's a month in New York City.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. I want to know one thing. Have you performed yet, or are you about to perform?
So I've performed a couple of times this weekend. Performed at the opening night gala. I did Bridge Over Troubled Waters and Suspicious Minds, and I actually wore a recreation of Elvis's sundial outfit, which again was known for the later half of his career, but it's criminally ignored because of that. But he also wore it in 1974 in Lake Tahoe, and he was very tan, he was very slim, he looked like a rock star, as he always did. He never not looked like a rock star. And then on Thursday night, Welcome Home Tupelo, I performed Wash My Hands in Muddy Water, which is an Elvis country tune that doesn't get done that often, and another Elvis country tune called We Can Make the Morning, which is another underrated power song by Elvis Presley.
One of my biggest observations here is I haven't heard the same song twice, I don't think, since I've been here. And we're already on, I believe, day 3.
Day 3. Going on to the last day, tomorrow. Absolutely. But, you know, we have a great producer in Jason Russo, the MD of the TIC band that is backing us up the entire weekend, all the way from down under and Australia. You know, they're great down there. Yeah, except the wildlife. The wildlife just wants to, you know, they're not really that friendly. Everything wants to like hurt you down there. Yes. So I mean, they pick and go through every single set list and make sure that the set lists don't overlap.
That's what I was really curious about,
Absolutely.
Because I've heard more Elvis songs that I don't know than ones I do know.
That is the goal of coming to an Elvis Fest, is not only to have fun, to party with other Elvis fans such as us, but also to learn more about his career, because he had so many songs. He had over 800 songs, more than just Hound Dog, Suspicious Minds, Burning Love.
Okay, yeah, that's the thing. 800 different songs. Yeah. And it's really interesting that the jumpsuits, you get them in Indiana, because I believe his last show was Indianapolis.
It was Indianapolis, 1977, June 26th.
Okay, so we're going on the math here, 47-year anniversary.
Yes. We
awesome.
Just celebrated the 45th. Okay. And absolutely. Most people remember the CBS special, but you know, and again, you know, he still looked like our Elvis, but I mean, you know, he was always top notch. His vocals were always top notch till the very end.
Okay, do you have a website or a social handle you want to plug?
Yes, Cody ETA_official on Instagram. Look for the blue check. There's a lot of crazy people out there that make spam accounts. Just look for the blue check, and it's Cody Deonath, COTEDEONATH. Say it with me like the Banana Boat song. Deo-nath. Hard nath at the end. Not detonate, not denoth, not coat, not this, not Cody. That's it. And Cody, UltimateElvisCody.com.
Well, your enthusiasm, it's just infectious. I'm not an Elvis fan, but it's impossible not to just be taken in by all the enthusiasm here, the attention to the outfits, just the way that people are just so into this music and celebrating it. So it's every June in Tupelo. I'm sure you go to others too.
Yes, I'm actually outside of Tupelo. I produce 10 different Elvis festivals with Elvis Presley Enterprises as well, all across the United States. So I'm not only an Elvis tribute artist, but I am also a producer of Elvis festivals. I started my production company at the age of 20 years old. I produced my first show. Didn't know what I was doing, but we took off, and I am now also licensed and endorsed by Graceland. And we travel all over the country, Arizona, Arkansas, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, Arizona, Texas, Kentucky, Illinois. So, I mean, and we have a cruise this year as well.
And I even saw an Aussie Elvis here, I believe.
An Aussie Elvis, yes, you did. Absolutely.
Every June, Elvis Fest, Tupelo, place of his birth. Thank you very much.
We'll see you next time. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe. I got more trips coming up soon. I got Rock Springs, Wyoming. I also have Orlando, Florida, Ellicott City, Maryland, heading out to Portland, Oregon. I hope you get to come to Tupelo so Tupelo can welcome you home. And I look forward to sharing more videos with you soon.
Thank you very much, Tupelo. Thank you.